Okay, so let's take a look first at Nation Builder, because we were just talking about Nation Builder previously, and then we can move along to Mailchimp. Now, there's all sorts we can discuss, and again, on the purpose on this this webinar is to, a high level, give some direction in terms of what many campaigns we're working with are using, and so in Nation Builder, really, there are two key tools that you can use. There's the email blasting and text message blasting. Text messaging is a really neat option to consider. Depending on your budget on the campaign, you may be able to afford some text messaging, and for things like volunteer mobilization and whatnot, that could be really effective. However, most campaigns that I'm working with are not and have seen are not using text messaging right now in terms of Nation Builder. So I'm going to focus on the email blasting. Text messaging in Nation Builder is very similar to sending out an email blast. As we saw last time around on the webinar around Nation Builder for campaigns, you saw how you can hook up Twitter account and a Facebook page, and so definitely consider doing that on your campaign to make sure that interactions with your accounts are being logged in the system. You can turn on or restrict the degree to which contacts are imported, but it's definitely helpful to have those connected. And then if you're going to be sending out an email blast, we'll just click on email blast here, and you're able to send out a blast, and again, it's a step-by-step process here. Let's just say an example. I just want to show you a couple things here. So one of the key pieces is if you're sending out a blast in, say, Nation Builder, is to understand and have your lists, not just lists, but also tags, filters, have your recipient lists very clearly identified, so that you're making sure you're sending it to the right segment of your database. So what I'd suggest is that you are likely going to use a couple of tags or filters in order to actually build your list. So let's just take a look at how that might work, right? So we could say, in this case, we have a tag for updates, and we've used, you can see here we've got an updates media tag. Okay, so these are media contacts, and we have an update tag. So if we wanted to send an email, we could actually send it to media in a particular jurisdiction. So we could say, let's send it to the media in Ottawa. Now, this is a municipal campaign we're talking about, so you're not going to have multiple jurisdictions like that. However, the same principle applies. You could use a standard tag. You can create as many tags as you want in Nation Builder, and you could use a standard prefix like updates, and whether it's a volunteer updates or your general campaign updates, media updates, or whatnot. Why a tag is useful in particular is that in Nation Builder, if you go to a web page, let's say your sign up page, right? So if we go to the join page, and this is a sign up page type in Nation Builder, you're going to see under most pages with forms in Nation Builder, you're able to tag signups that join via a page. So if we wanted to take a look on the front end of what this looks like, you can see that this is, I've already signed up, so actually I'd have to sign out, but this would normally be a form where you'd enter your first name, last name, and your email, and when you click send, what you're going to, you would be tagged with that tag. And for example, say a volunteer page, you might want to add all volunteer signups to the volunteer update list, which would make sense. And so you might tag all volunteers who sign up on your volunteer page with updates _ vol or volunteer. And again, completing your auto responses and whatnot to help people understand what the next step they need to take are. and so that gives you just an example, say if we were going to use tags, but if you want to use a filter too, that could be particularly useful. So we might want to have like an Ottawa media list, right? So in this case, we might say address near. So we've got updates media and address within 25 kilometers of, let's just say Ottawa, right? And we could filter that. Right now you can see we've got 438 contacts. If we reduce that now to Ottawa, we've got 73 contacts. So that's a more meaningful and reasonable set of contacts if we were going to email that list. Now we could save this filter as our Ottawa media list, right? And so every time somebody is added with the media tag and Ottawa as a or 20 within the 25 kilometers of Ottawa as their address, then they're automatically added to that list, and I don't have to go back and be updating that. So that's, you can see the kind of power of actually having your communications module or system directly connected to and your website directly connected to your CRM without having to do sort of imports, exports, or manual updates. So just a couple more minutes here before we wrap up. So this is where you would choose that tag or that filter. And then the one key piece that many campaigns have questions about are the themes in Nation Builder. There are a small number of public themes. Often they're a little cumbersome in Nation Builder. They're not as usable as one would like, and they're a little difficult to customize in the way you might want in terms of a simple email. So for municipal campaigns, I highly recommend you just keep it super simple. Logo at the top, and then plain text, one column. You could add in some images, like a photo or something, or like a video screen capture or something like that, and maybe highlight your links. But other than that, you're going to have the header, logo, plain body, and then a plain footer. So if we can take a look here at this example. And in preview, and you can see that we've got just exactly like that, a plain logo, simple logo at the top, simple email, and then footer with the information about how to get involved, but also if people want to change their email preferences, they can do that. So I really recommend just keeping it simple. People on their mobile devices don't necessarily need to get a whole bunch of images and whatnot that they need to download. So so this is a good way to get started. In the follow-up to this, I will provide this email template to you. I'll link to you could copy and paste this HTML if you're familiar. It's going to be easy to edit, and if not, if you can find somebody that is familiar, then you could edit that and basically replace the logo with your campaign logo. So I'm happy to provide this basic email template, and we'll do that in the follow-up email. And then finally, Mailchimp is another good option. If you're on the DemocracyKit, we're going to be sending out every 2 to 3 weeks. We'll be sending out an update about sessions coming up. We're using Mailchimp because in this case, we really do need to have a whole bunch of resources and webinars featured, and so it's a little bit more complex in terms of the images we want to show as well. We want to. It's more straightforward, and from an editing perspective, for folks to do a more complicated layout. So, in some cases, you may either want to use Mailchimp to complement, but for a municipal campaign, you're likely going to be choosing either or. And in this case, Mailchimp, you might want to choose, say, if you're using a WordPress or another system that doesn't have a communications e-blasting system built in, and this is a good option. And you can embed your mail form into your website footer or create an email sign-up page. Similarly to other systems, Mailchimp does have a list management, right? So could take a look I'm hesitant to click in because we've got personal information. However, what I'd just say is that that you can, in Mailchimp, create segments exactly very similar, I should say, not exactly, but very similar to the way we just saw in Nation Builder. And so you could have segments for various portions of your list, volunteers and otherwise, and send out blasts accordingly. So that was a little bit